1 where it was still 0-0. Is this actually the next match?
This could very well be the next match here. We got some of the last names still up on the board, but
yeah,
might still be getting set up here. Oh yeah, it looks like we are starting the next match here. It looks like it's WDSC versus Jordan and Tiltoo on the orange team.
Some people are too cool for team names.
Yeah, I wonder what that abbreviation is there. It looks like they are going to have that one goalie set back. Accidentally knocks it back towards the other goal. Can they get the save? They don't. And it looks like the orange team, Jordan and Tiltoo, are going to go up 1-0 here relatively quick.
Yeah, only about 27 seconds in. Of course, Rocket League matches, you have 5 minutes to get all the points that you can.
And anything can happen in Rocket League. Absolutely anything. So definitely not the end for our blue team here.
Ooh, very, very aggressive jump forward from WSC, but does not pay off. As once again, Orange seems to just have a bit more control over here.
Yeah, definitely. The blue team struggling to clear the ball and get it out of their own end here. One player, again, falling back to the goalie. It looks like they've kind of arranged this ahead of time where one player will be a little bit more defensive this time around.
Yeah, but finally WDSC looking like they're going to be able to get a little bit aggressive. Unfortunately, not quite able to get the ball in the place they wanted to.
Gets the block there, however. Looks like we're going to have another center here for Orange. Can they capitalize? Nope, just a little bit too high.
Oh, nice jump backwards. Almost sets it up. At least gets it back into the right position.
All right, finally, I think we're just now seeing the ball crossed on the orange side of the field for the first time in this game. Can blue capitalize on this?
Oh, nice attempt.
Big boost in there, big boost.
Yeah, and of course when you do commit to that, that does make it a lot harder to get back to the other side of the field for the defense. But
it kind of puts you in, you're right, into this all-in type scenario where if you don't hit that ball, you find yourself in quite the predicament.
Here we go, and this is what we see, that defensive player that just capitalizes and says, you know what, okay, other player, my teammate is going to be on the offensive, but I'm going to sit back and get some boosts, and then I'll be in an optimal position to go on the aggressive next.
Boost management is a very, very important mechanic in Rocket League. You don't want to find yourself with the ball hurtling towards your goal and not much boost left in the tank.
Yeah, ball is now on Orange's side of the court. They are going to be able to get a pretty good defense up, as it looks like WDSC not quite in position to make the offensive happen. And once again, they're going to have to deal with this aggression. And of course, it's 1-0 right now in favor of Orange. Blue is the one that has to get the score.
Right, right. But it does look like we have a pretty even match here as both players both teams struggle to get that ball into the other's end.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this is, again, it's going to come down to a lot of that control, where a lot of the time we end up seeing those aggressive jump forwards. They're not quite landing the mark, even when it's not really being messed with as the ball. But I think whatever team can actually fine-tune that control is going to be the one in a huge advantage. Oh, no!
Oh,
is that going to be a self-score?
Oh, the most unfortunate of circumstances, but I'm sure the blue team is not mad at that one. They'll take the help.
Oh, man. It is actually a very frustrating feeling sometimes when you're trying to clear the ball, but the ball does not want to be cleared.
No, not at all.
The ball just decides, no, I really actually want to just go in the goal.
Your timing is off. The ball hits on the rear end of your vehicle, and all of a sudden you find it going the opposite direction than intended.
Well, it is going to be tied up 1-1 now. It is anyone's game with 2 minutes on the clock. WDSC, once again, trying to clear the ball. I'm going to hand it to Jordan and Tiltoo. They've been doing a good job of just continuing that pressure.
Absolutely. A lot of aggression coming out of this team here. As blue is a little bit more patient. They have one kind of sitting back in the goalie, waiting to defend here. Looks like we're going to have one opportunity. Nope, immediately batted away by Orange. Cleared. We do have a destruction as well. The empty is completely open.
Good.
And they score.
So close. We almost had the good defense over there. Just a tad bit too early coming in over there, as we had a really great shot.
That destruction there really helped clear the field. Just a narrow miss there on the save, as we could see by the replay. But I think that destruction, or that demolition, excuse me, really cleared up the field and allowed them to get that goal.
Well, blue maybe going to get a little bit more aggressive over here as they start to pull that ball into Orange's corner for once. And
almost a nice little center there by our blue team.
Yeah, nice use of the backup, trying to get that ball, but not quite going to be able to catch it. Orange is actually, they're doing a pretty good job, I would say, so far now of playing that defensive, not giving WDSC any opportunities to get on the offensive.
Right. Not a lot of breathing room.
But at the same time, I have to kind of wonder, would they be better off trying to get a little bit more offensive?
Oh, looks like this is going to be another easy pick for Orange there, having scored every single goal on the board.
That is true. That is a good way to put it. You know, they're pretty good at scoring.
Pretty good at scoring. They even tip their opponent's one. But, yeah, that one's just going to be an easy in there as the ball just fortunately bounces right in front of an empty net.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, if Orange is constantly on the offensive, sure, they have the lead. This is where they can technically play a little bit defensive, you know, try and run the clock a little bit. But if you are constantly on the offensive with both of your players, that just gives your opponent more opportunities to score potentially.
Absolutely. I think teams should just, oh my gosh, another goal here by our Orange team. I think, as I was saying, teams should really just play to their strengths. If they're a good, aggressive team, just keep putting points up on the board. That serves itself as its own like kind of buffer for their defense.
Best defense is a good offense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
A lot closer of a game than we did see last time, however. I'm liking this a lot. They're putting up a fight.
You know, with 50 seconds still on the clock, WDSC has got to make some miracles happen, but it can happen.
Absolutely.
Orange does not want to let it happen, though. Another score, and that might be sealing the deal.
That looks like it actually might be. Blue having a hard time deciding who's actually going to defend, who's going to play back. A little bit too much of a commitment there by the defender that was back. Ended up putting himself out of position just by knocking that ball out of the goal.
Yeah, now we got to see a goal every 10 seconds from WDSC.
Possible. It's possible.
Well, C's control the ball. The goal side is empty right now. If they can get the good angle, not quite able to. Giving Orange a little bit of time to set up the defenses.
It looks like they're going to take it all downfield here again. Just a little bit of a contest from the blue team, but then another miss there. Two misses there. It looks like our Orange team is going to have a bit of a breakaway. If Blue's not careful, one falls back to the goal, but it looks like it might be a little bit too late. Nice, gets
good
the
defense.
save.
You know, at this stage in the game, when there's 10 seconds on the clock, you know you're behind. You know it's not a winnable situation anymore. You're just trying to do your best job to make sure that they don't score another goal on you. You don't want to get styled on.
Right, absolutely. And it looks like our Orange team's going to go up one in this best of three. There is still another opportunity for our blue team to come back from this.
Yeah, and what would you say you want to see the blue team do a little bit differently in the next game? Because I think we were talking about the stylistic preferences of Orange team being very, very aggressive, never really letting the blue team get a chance to be aggressive.
Right. What I've seen a lot there from the blue team is that one person would go in, kind of get a, for lack of a better term, a whiff on the ball there, and then the second teammate would, again, go in for that hit. And once they both missed, the net was completely open. I'd like to see one of them play a little bit more defensive when that whiff happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we do end up seeing Blue get into a really nice spot. It's not quite going to be in a good enough position. There it is, closing it off. WDSC.
Nice little dunk there to complete that goal there.
Absolutely.
I love these little hits there right in front of the goal where they go over the other opponent just to kind of nudge it in the rest of the way.
There you go. And, I mean, they have the lead now in this game. Can they maintain it? Can they keep it against the hyper-aggression Team Jordan Tiltoo? Well, currently sitting on blue side. Orange is looking to try and get a little bit aggressive. They set up in one position to get a good shot in.
He must have not had any boost there. Of course, we can't see the boost gauge there, but one can only imagine he was going for that ball, just could not get there in time. Let's see it again. And I can only help but think there was no boost left for that poor guy there.
It was one of those unfortunate situations. That boost management you were talking about.
Absolutely. Super important in this game. Of course, once the round restarts, everybody's boost is reset again, so the collection kind of restarts there. Nobody's starting a round with max boost, of course.
Very, very gentle tapping in from Team Orange, trying to get that spot in.
Looks like one's kind of hanging back, looking to kind of get that pick, hoping for a nice little center. Also playing defender at the same time as he comes back and defends that half court.
Exactly as you were saying. You can see he's in a good spot to knock that ball straight out of the park as soon as it gets close by.
Some of these hits by Orange, even on the defensive, are super productive, getting nice little breakaway opportunities.
Getting a little bit too high over there for the goal. Orange is still going to try and seize control of this. WDSC has got something to say about that, though.
Absolutely. Trying to get it in there. The goalie, once again, in position. And the goalie almost getting the score there.
A little bit awkward.
Anything can happen in Rocket League.
Anything can happen. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I've scored, don't worry, guys. I've scored far more goals on my own goal than these guys have. So they're already doing pretty good.
Yeah, it finally looks like the blue team is getting into their stride here, putting up a way bigger of a fight than we were seeing last game. A little bit more coordination there, not both diving on the ball at one time. I hate to see a team clump up like that and give the other an opportunity to score.
Oh, and we got some boost coming in from Blue. Not quite able to make the landing on the ball. But, oh, we got a follow-up, and that is going to be a guaranteed score. 2-1 with 3 minutes on the clock.
Absolutely. Again, kind of a defensive posture there, but comes out with the aggression, ended up making a goal and capitalizing on that. Blue team really, really coming into their stride this game in this best of 3.
And I'm really digging that. It's like the police siren, the rainbow police siren on that WDSC car.
You know, I got to give it out to the developers for Rocket League. They're really fair. Oh,
wow.
Man.
Really quick follow-up
Blue
there.
is dominating this game in this series here. I'm really excited for this Game 3 when they're really going to hash it out here.
You think it's going to go to Game 3?
I think it's going to Game 3, the way Blue is showing up today.
They're doing a pretty fantastic job of it so far. We'll see if they can continue it. Jordan Tiltoo, you know, I've got to say, they've been trying to go for that aggression. It's definitely not paying off quite as much this time. I'm really impressed with how well they're setting up some of those shots.
Right.
But they just haven't quite been getting that accuracy.
Look at the coordination here from our Blue team. Once again, WDSC really stepping it up here. Look at that beautiful center as the other person just hammers it in. That's that trust I'm talking about, Ravi. You can't just – he could have very well gone for that ball and missed the goal, but the other person had that opportunity, and he just kind of let him take it.
That is absolutely what's happening, and we are going to need to see Jordan and Tiltoo find some sort of other answer. You know, sometimes just having – oh!
This could very well be a goal right here if it's not defended properly, and it is from across the field. Nice high-arcing shot there.
Yeah, you know, sometimes those high-arcing shots are actually quite deceptively difficult to actually get the defense up. It's a lot about that patience where you want to jump, you want to go for the shot, you want to just get the block off as soon as possible.
Right.
But when you jump the gun a little bit,
right,
so to speak.
Yeah, it's kind of this game you have to play with yourself with. Are you going to try to catch it midair and go for that risk? Are you going to go all in and try to get the aerial defense? Or are you going to, oh my gosh, we have another goal here from WDSC dominating Game 2 here in this series.
Well, there's still 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. They are up 3 goals right now. But Jordan and Tiltoo definitely still have plenty of time to make the comeback. All right. Going into, I guess you could call this round number 8 as we're looking for that 8th goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 3-goal deficit here for our orange team. Wonderful defense here by Blue once again, knocking it back onto the other side of the field, getting that clear. And it looks like we're going to have another center attempt here, but not quite. Can't keep control of it.
Yeah, just keeping the goal or the ball around on this side of the field, and I guess they're now trying to set up for yet another defense.
Yeah, trying to get that angle on the center, but the orange team putting up a really good defense. Looks like we might have a breakaway opportunity here. They can't decide who's going to go for it.
Nobody can decide who's actually going to be able to hit the ball.
Yeah. You got to give it to the one with the momentum, but sometimes it's quite easy
to good defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jordan Tiltoo definitely starting to step up their game a little bit on the defense. They're going for the aggression, not quite paying off, and that is one of those difficult things. You want to go for that high-speed hit, but sometimes you just don't have the accuracy when you go for it. Yeah,
just didn't have the right angle there. Hit it just a little too wide on a great opportunity to score, and one that they really need right now.
WDSC.
High-arcing center here.
Oh.
Great defense.
Wow.
Great defense by the orange team.
Yeah, and again, it's just the fact that they can just continue to buy time. That's all they really need to do. And WDSC, they can just sit back.
Great dunk there by the orange team to bring it within 2 of equalizing the score here. But as we're seeing it, this back-and-forth ping-pong game that the blue and orange teams are playing out here, blue is very happy to play that type of game.
Exactly.
Time is on their side, and with a 2-goal difference and only 1 minute left on the clock, they are looking like they could still take Game 2 here and tie up this series. Yeah,
need a goal on average at least every 30 seconds at this point for Team Orange. 1 minute remaining, and we're starting to see blue just going
great center here. Great center. Goal opportunity. Will he dunk it in? Just shy of the timing there.
Oh, so close. Not quite going to be able to get it, though.
That would have certainly been the nail in the coffin for the game, I believe, if they would have put it up by 3.
Well, blue is still relentless with this, and with 40 seconds on the clock, is really not a lot of time. Orange has got to seize control of the ball. They finally cleared out of their side of the court, but can they follow it up?
Yeah, if there was a Hail Mary strategy of Rocket League, now would be the time we would need to see that come out onto the field.
And they're not really in position to push that ball back on the right side. Again, at least stopping the momentum.
Looks like we will have a goal
go
here.
For the self-goal. Orange backs up, says no,
will
we're
there be
okay
a
with
defense?
this.
Oh, my God.
Anocheros, you just scored.
Yes, I did. I was did it from all the way over here.
Did it from all the way over here.
Yeah, he passed me the controller real quick. It said, Anna, we need your help.
Oh, man. And what a fight for that ball as all three of the cars trying to get a piece of the pie. And here we go. 14 seconds left. Can Orange tie the series up? It will go to overtime.
Now, if they keep this ball up in the air, the clock will tick down to 0, but the game will not end if they can just keep the juggle going until they can get into the goal. But with the ball heading in the opposite direction, it does not look like that's going to happen here as the clock ticks out. And we have a tied-up series here between WDSC and Jordan and Tiltoo.
Yeah. We're starting to see a bit of those handshakes. You know, good job, well done to the teammates who managed to tie up that series, as you were saying. And it's really cool because the way that we've seen it, that last game getting a little bit closer toward the end of it.
Absolutely.
But both of these teams have sort of had one of the more dominating games.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was kind of a refreshing surprise to see them come back so strong in Game 2. Game 1 just kind of looked like a stomp there for a moment, but really just warming up. It looks like they just didn't get any practice games in today, and they're just kind of coming into their own right now in the middle of the series.
Yeah, sometimes all you really need are those 15 to 20 seconds between the rounds to just talk to your teammate and say, look, I think that one of us needs to do such and such.
Right.
Other one, I'll handle doing A,
Absolutely.
you do B, and suddenly the teamwork is just all right there for WDSC. Well, starting to see Orange get a little bit aggressive over here, and not quite in the position to set up the shot.
Nice little clear there from Blue. One of the Orange just hanging back to be that defender, kind of forcing themselves into a 1v2 strategy to score there. Oh, that could definitely be a nice little corner shot there from our Orange team.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well set up over there. Is actually a great setup. I don't know if that was intentional, but it works out quite well.
Yeah, almost went a little wide there. Definitely went off what would be the goal post if there was one.
But, again, tied up series, and whoever takes that first goal definitely gets a really big advantage. You can try to play a little bit safer if you choose to, but you know what? The funny thing is, I feel like both of these teams have just been playing fairly aggressive.
Yeah, they've really been going all out. The Orange team a little bit more cautious, always having that defender back, whereas the Blue team is just ready to score once they're on the opposing half of the field.
Yeah, and we're starting to see potential position for Jordan Tiltoo to continue that aggression as he moves on in, get into a good spot to at least start to follow up on the aggression. Oh, not quite getting that.
I really think that boost management is more of a mechanic, more of an important mechanic when you're playing that aggressive style, because you really have to reserve that boost for getting back onto your own end and defending should things go awry.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that Blue definitely has to be able to manage. Because
absolutely.
As you were saying, yeah, if you're both being aggressive, you need to get back immediately to defend. But
and this is one of those situations I'm talking about right there. Orange with a very easy goal, wide open net there, as the aggression from the Blue team did not pay off for them this time.
Yeah, you saw the jump forward from WDSC's car and just moving both of your cars forward. I think that's one of the big problems, right? If you're both moving toward your opponent's goal, then it's so difficult. You have to stop. You have to turn around just to get back to the defense. Not even going into the idea of, like, boost.
Small missed opportunity there from our Blue team. Could have lasered that in there, but just barely missed the ball. Looks like they'll have another chance here as he comes to center it from the corner position.
Well, WDSC trying to go a bit of a setup, not quite able to land it. Still got another car.
Looks like we have another center here. I'm not sure if he's trying to make the play himself or utilize his teammate here. He is now falling back for the defensive as Orange tries to center just a little bit too much on that one. Flies right over the goal.
Yeah, continue the aggression. Oh, tries to go for the jump to halt the ball's momentum. They're going to backfire now as Blue getting to a good position. Almost gets it, but
second one could come in and knock this in here. Oh, just a good defense there by the Orange team, tipping that ball just out of reach.
Yeah. I think also being able to get the pickoff on the other Blue car. WDSC just doesn't have the firepower, and now
two beautiful saves there.
Wonderful saves. Can we get a third? No, not quite. Relentless aggression, and Jordan Tiltoo taking yet another goal.
That was some beautiful defense there by the Blue team, but eventually the Orange is going to put the ball in the net there if you can't get that ball out of there.
And we're starting to see once again, we're going as we go to the ace match. It is still a bit of a one-sided game.
That was a very interesting face-off if you didn't catch that. Both players went wide on the ball looking to get the rebound of the other, neither of them actually hitting it.
That is just one of the funny things that happen in Rocket League, as is this. A wide shot from the halfway court.
Yeah, whatever huddle these two did between games is really paying off, as you had mentioned before. That discussion with your teammate, kind of reorganizing your strategies, kind of deciding how you're going to handle this time. This is looking, again, more like game one as Orange Team begins to dominate here.
Yeah, and we are going to see another shot. Thank God, WDSC playing with that defender.
The goalie moving out of the goal. The other player's going to have to drop in there, kind of playing around in the back of the net. Going to have to get that ball out of there. We're going to see another goal here from our Orange Team, and there it is.
That might be starting to put the nail in the coffin. 2 minutes left on the clock and 5 goals to play catch-up on. WDSC has got to make some miracles happen. I hope they're maybe doing a little bit of talking during these downtimes for the replays.
Yeah, I hope they had their Wheaties this morning. This is going to be kind of the uphill battle to come back from a 5-goal deficit here.
Well, not even going to be able to get that offensive advantage as they lose the face-off there.
Yeah, interesting how that plays out. Sometimes it really does reward the second player to touch the ball and determine the trajectory of it from there forward.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like at this point, not quite able to get it.
Tries to bump his teammate into the ball. Nice teamwork there by the blue team.
Yeah. But at WDSC, I feel like they just need to have both cards on the offensive at this point.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, if you're going to catch up with 5 goals, then you need to have everything on the offensive. You need to be all focused on getting goals. If at this point, if you aren't getting a goal, you're basically securing your own nail in the coffin.
Absolutely. The Orange Team happy to play back, be defensive, run out the clock here, play this kind of ping-pong game of back and forth. But Blue, the real missing strategy here is just getting the hits on that ball. Of course, they're getting some really nice defensive saves. When it comes to moving the ball down the field, we're seeing a lot of misses here.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate because I feel like they have some pretty good setups. They're coming in at good angles. They're coming in and into a place where they can potentially set up for their teammate, but it's just not getting that connection.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that they're just not making those capitalizations on those centers.
Yeah, and we're at the point where we're going to need to see a goal every 10 seconds. This might just be for a little bit more pride than anything else to try and get that final goal in.
Yeah, just wanting to get up on the board now probably means more to them than actually winning the series at this point, because those hopes and dreams are slowly slipping away.
This might
be a
good
wide
shot.
Open net.
Oh.
Just wide.
Yeah. Going to be a little bit difficult. I believe Blue Car should be coming back in. Yeah, they have an opportunity to maybe get another score in, but no. Jordan and Tiltoo saying, no, we want to strike fear into the heart of our opponents. We're going to get that final extra score, make it 6-0.
Absolutely. I think they're just looking for complete domination here over their opponents, making up for that game 2. Said, guys, that wasn't really us. This is how we shine. Showing us here in game 3, as this is a near shutout here. And with that defense, it looks like it's going to be.
Yeah, as it goes down to 1-0. Orange takes the victory, and Jordan and Tiltoo saying, you know what, we don't need a cool team name. Our skills speak for themselves.
Just know our names. Know our names.
Just know our names.